So we're going to set up for our pressure and number lab. This is our 6th lab in our notebook. So this is pressure and number. And mine is going to start on page 17. Okay? Now I'm going to go find my next blank page. There's page 17. So title at the top, pressure and number. And then we're going to put today's date. And then after that, you need your purpose. And the purpose of this lab is to determine the relationship between the pressure of a gas and the number of gas particles in a container. So the purpose is to determine the relationship between the pressure of a gas and the number of particles in a container. Okay, after our purpose comes our hypothesis. And for this hypothesis, we're going to use the relationships in the back again, and we're going to pick one of these relationships for how we think the pressure will relate to the number. So the relationship between pressure and the number of particles will be blank. And then you'll fill it in with whichever of those relationships you think will apply. Now we need our procedure. And your procedure for this lab probably comes in 2 parts. And then after you've put your procedure in, you're going to have a spot for observations. Remember, observations are words, not numbers, so that's not where we're going to put our data table. Our data table and graphs are going to come next. So again, we don't have any calculations for this lab. We just have our data table and our graphs. For our data, we are going to be collecting the number of particles, and we're going to be recording the pressure. Now, in your lab procedure, you'll notice that it says we're going to record the number in moles. So we measure the number of particles in a unit called moles. To make this lab a little bit simpler, we're going to assume that 1 milliliter of gas is the equivalent of 1 mole. Now, it's not, but we're going to make that assumption just to make this lab a little bit easier. So if you put 1 milliliter of gas into your container, you can assume you put in 1 mole of gas particles into your container. If you put in 2 milliliters, you put in 2 moles of gas particles. So that's how we're going to record that. So we have number and pressure. Again, you're going to have 6 to 8 data points. And just like with the pressure and volume lab, your lab quest is going to collect all of this data for you. You just need to record it into your lab notebook. And then after your data, you're going to have your graph. And your graph is going to have number on the x-axis and pressure on the y. And so remember, these two you're going to get straight from your lab quest. So you're going to record your data table, and then you're just going to sketch your graph, and then you can compare it to the graph in the back to determine what relationship it is. And then after that, you're going to have your summary. Now, I don't have a lot of room for mine, so remember you can always go to the next page when writing your summary if you run out of room on the page that you're on. Make sure that when you hit the point where it asks about accepted results that you see your teacher to learn what the relationship should be between pressure and number of particles so that you can compare your results to the accepted results.